Dear students, today we are going to study electron affinity and electronegativity. So we have already completed the periodic properties, atomic radius, ionic radius and ionization energy. Remaining we have to study electron affinity and electronegativity. To consider a neutral gaseous atom, when it accepts an electron, it becomes an anion. During this process, how much energy is liberated? It is called electron affinity. So the definition of electron affinity is energy liberated during the gaining of an electron by an isolated gaseous atom. So when we consider atoms like chlorine, chlorine needs stability by gaining an electron. We know the electronic configuration of chlorine: 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. 17 electrons present in chlorine. It is unstable. Chlorine needs stability, so it has a tendency of gaining an electron. When chlorine gains an electron, configuration will become 3p6. So if a chlorine is gaining an electron, it becomes a chloride ion. Number of protons will be the same, 17, but the number of electrons will be 18. So configuration will become 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. So the chloride ion will attain the electronic configuration of argon. So 18 electrons placed. Chlorine is unstable in nature. When it gains an electron, it attains the electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas, argon. So in the form of a chloride ion, it is stable. So the isolated gaseous chlorine atom is accepting an electron to become the stable chloride ion. During the process, how much energy is liberated? It is called electron affinity. So it is opposite to the ionization energy. Ionization energy means we provide energy for the atom to remove the last electron. For removing the electron, how much energy is given? It is ionization energy. If an atom accepts an electron, how much energy is liberated? It is called electron affinity. It can also be denoted as electron gain enthalpy. So enthalpy is nothing but a heat change. During a process, there will be heat change. So heat energy is liberated. It is called electron affinity. So electron gain enthalpy is nothing but electron affinity, because when an atom is gaining an electron, how much heat changes occurred. So this is called electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity. So the atoms like halogens will have more affinity towards electron. It has a tendency or affinity of gaining an electron. So this is called electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. So this is one of the periodic properties, and it is also expressed in terms of kilojoule per mole, and it is a measurable quantity like ionization potential. What about the variation of electron affinity in periods and groups in modern periodic table? Take periods. Electron affinity increases from left to right in a period. So its trend is like ionization potential. Electron affinity also increases in periods. When you take second period, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. So left to right, atomic radius, as we know that atomic radius decreases. Extra electrons added in the same valence shell, so atomic radius decreases. At the same time, effective nuclear charge increases, isn't it? Effective nuclear charge increases. Lithium has just 3 protons, beryllium 4 protons, boron 5, carbon 6, 7, for nitrogen, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, neon 10. So left to right, nuclear charge increases. Screening effect will not be the predominant one, so we can say effective nuclear charge increases from left to right. So electron gaining tendency increases from left to right. So comparing lithium, beryllium has more tendency. Comparing beryllium, boron has more tendency of gaining an electron. This is general trend, but exceptions are there. Okay. Like ionization potential, electron affinity generally increases from left to right in a period. What are the exceptions? Elements with a stable configuration will be having a 0 electron affinity value. When you consider elements with a stable configuration, its electron gaining tendency will be negligible. So its electron affinity value is almost 0. You consider beryllium. So 4 electrons present. It has a completely filled electronic arrangement, 1s2, 2s2. And you take a nitrogen, 7 electrons present. It has a stable half-filled electronic arrangement. And you can take noble gases, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. It has stable, completely filled electronic arrangement. So generally, electron affinity increases from left to right in a period, but elements with a stable configuration will have 0 electron affinity. So almost electron affinity of beryllium, nitrogen, noble gases will be 0. Then what about the variation of electron affinity in groups? You consider first group, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. So electron affinity value decreases from top to bottom in a group. Lithium has just 2 cells, sodium has 3 cells, potassium has 4 cells. So electrons added in the next cell. Therefore, atomic radius increases. When atomic radius increases, distance between the nucleus and the last electron increases, but attraction decreases. So due to the increase of atomic radius, distance between the nucleus and the last electron increases. Therefore, the electrostatic force of attraction between the proton and electron decreases. Between nucleus and the last electron, the attraction is reduced. So once attraction is less, its electron gaining or accepting tendency will be reduced. So top to bottom, generally electron affinity decreases. Comparing lithium, sodium has lesser electron affinity. Comparing sodium, potassium has lesser electron affinity. So this is a general trend, but two exceptions are observed. Consider 16th group. In 16th group, we have oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, and so on. So what is the general trend of electron affinity in a group? It has to decrease from top to bottom. So we expect less electron affinity for sulfur. We expect that oxygen should have more electron affinity than the sulfur, but the trend is reversed. Okay. So comparing oxygen, sulfur has more electron affinity. This is first exception. And you take 17th group elements, halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Top to bottom in a group, electron affinity has to decrease. So we expect fluorine has more electron affinity than the chlorine. But the actual trend is chlorine has more electron affinity than the fluorine. Okay. So the main reason is the compact structure of first member. When you take the first member of each group, its size is very, very small. Oxygen has 8 electrons, electronic configuration 1s2 2s2 2p4. What about sulfur? 16 electrons present in the sulfur, electronic configuration 1s2 2s2 2p6, 3s2 3p4. The same way in 17th group, fluorine has 9 electrons, configuration 1s2 2s2 2p5. Chlorine has 17 electrons, configuration 1s2 2s2 2p6, 3s2 3p5. Just to check the atomic radius or the structure of first member in each group. 16th group having the first member oxygen, 17th group having the first member fluorine. Both are having very small structure. The structure is called a compact structure. Oxygen has to gain an electron. The electron will be placed in the 2p orbital. But when a sulfur is gaining an electron will be placed in the 3p orbital. So comparing oxygen, sulfur has a somewhat larger size because one more shell is added. Oxygen has just 2 cells, but sulfur has 3 cells. The same way, fluorine has very small compact structure. It has just 2 cells. When it accepts an electron, it will be placed in the compact 2p orbital. But in chlorine, there are 3 cells. Electron will be placed in the 3p orbital. So comparing oxygen, sulfur has one more extra cell. The same way, comparing fluorine, chlorine has one more extra cell. And both are having the compact 2p orbital. So its electron accepting tendency will be less than the electron accepting tendency of sulfur and chlorine respectively. So these two are the deviations in the general trend of electron affinity in a group. So the last periodic property is electronegativity. Consider hydrogen atom as well as chlorine atom. Both the atoms are highly unstable in nature. Atomic number of hydrogen is 1. Electronic configuration unstable 1s1 configuration. Atomic number of chlorine is 17. It has unstable electronic configuration 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p5. So both unstable atoms are meeting at a point. There should be a formation of chemical bond. between two unstable atoms, a chemical bond should be formed to attain stability. Why there is a chemical bond formation? Both the atoms need stability, so chemical bond is formed. Both the atoms will be stabilized in the form of a molecule. And what are the possibilities for a chemical bond? One is transfer of electron to form ionic bond. If an electron is transferred from one atom into another atom, ionic bond will be formed, isn't it? From hydrogen to chlorine, if an electron is transferred, hydrogen becomes H plus and chlorine becomes Cl minus, ionic bond will be formed. This is first possibility. What is the second possibility? Sharing of electrons by both the atoms. If both the atoms are mutually sharing the electrons, a covalent bond will be formed. Okay. Let me check one by one. Is there any transfer of electron between these two atoms? Not possible. Hydrogen has only one electron. So, if hydrogen losing an electron, it becomes H plus. H plus means we say it is a proton. Often H plus is called as a proton because of what? In neutral hydrogen, one proton is present in the nucleus, one electron is present outside the nucleus. Hydrogen has no neutrons. So if hydrogen is losing an electron, it becomes H plus ion. That's nothing but proton. H plus having only one particle, proton, inside the nucleus. Okay, consider the transfer of electron. If hydrogen loses an electron, it has to become H plus, but number of electrons is 0. So electronic configuration will become 0. It is not possible. So to attain stability, each atom, except the noble gas, each atom or element has to gain the electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas. What is the nearest noble gas of hydrogen? The nearest noble gas of hydrogen is helium. Atomic number 2, configuration 1s2. So what is the ultimate aim of hydrogen? It has to achieve the electronic configuration of helium. So if hydrogen is losing an electron, it has no electrons, configuration will be 1s0. So it is unstable. This is not possible. Okay. So hydrogen should attain the electronic configuration of helium. Its configuration should become 1s2. So the transfer of electron is not possible. Right? Hydrogen cannot lose an electron to form H plus. Next possibility, transfer of electron is not possible, so ionic bond will not be formed between hydrogen and chlorine. Next possibility, mutual sharing of valence electrons. So hydrogen needs configuration 1s2. It has to attain the electronic configuration of helium. Chlorine needs one electron to attain the electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas, argon. Argon has completely filled electronic arrangement, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. So chlorine needs one more electron to attain the electronic configuration of argon. Hydrogen needs one more electron to attain the electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas, helium. For that, mutual sharing of electron is possible. So hydrogen has just only one valence electron. Chlorine has totally 7 valence electrons, isn't it? The last cell having 7 electrons. Out of 7, 1 electron is shared with hydrogen. So mutual sharing of electron will make a covalent bond. Now what about the nature of a molecule? Hydrogen chloride molecule is a covalent compound. The bond formed is actually a covalent bond. So the molecule is a covalent molecule. So consider two unstable atoms, hydrogen and chlorine. When both are coming closer, there should be a bond formation. we may expect the bond formation ionic bond, but transfer of electron is not possible. Hydrogen cannot become 1s0 configuration, but chlorine needs one more electron to attain the electronic configuration of argon. So both unstable atoms are mutually sharing the valence electrons. A covalent bond is formed. For each covalent bond, how much electrons will be there? 2 electrons will be there. One pair of electron or 2 electrons will be present in each covalent bond. Now this hydrogen and chlorine atoms have combined together by a covalent bond. It becomes a covalent molecule. Hydrogen chloride covalent molecule. Now it is stabilized, isn't it? Around the hydrogen, 2 electrons present. Now think about hydrogen, around hydrogen 2 electrons present, so it attains the configuration of helium. Already chlorine has 17 electrons. Okay, already chlorine has 17 electrons. You just add this electron also, it attains the electronic configuration of argon. Okay. So both the atoms are stabilized. Hydrogen and chlorine mutually sharing the electrons. Both the atoms are stabilized by gaining the electronic configuration of its nearest noble gas. And covalent bond is non-polar in nature. Okay, transfer of electron means if there is a transfer of electron, H plus Cl minus, it is polar. But this is not possible. Covalent bond is formed, so this is non-polar in nature, and the bond is non-polar covalent bond. After the formation of a covalent bond, this covalent bond will not be 100% covalent one, because when you check the atoms present in the periodic table, the chlorine is in the 17th group. Hydrogen is placed in the first group. Still, hydrogen place is not fixed exactly in modern periodic table also. We will discuss in the next lesson. When you think about chlorine, chlorine is present in the 17th group. It is present in the extreme right side of the modern periodic table. Then what about the tendency of a chlorine? Its tendency will be more to gain the electron. To attain the electronic configuration of noble gas, the electron gaining tendency, electron affinity will be more. Electron accepting tendency of a chlorine will be more. So what happens after the formation of a covalent bond? The bonded pair of electrons are moving towards chlorine. First covalent bond is formed, it is 100% covalent, non-polar in nature, but it cannot exist for a longer period. Covalent bond cannot exist as a covalent bond for a longer period because of the electron accepting tendency of a chlorine. Comparing hydrogen, chlorine has more tendency of accepting the electron because it is present in the extreme right side. As we said, left to right, electron accepting tendency, that means electron affinity value will be more. So electron accepting tendency of a chlorine is more than that of hydrogen. Now the shared pair of electrons, how much pair is present? Only one pair of electron is present. It is called a bonded pair or shared pair of electron. This bonded or shared pair of electrons moving towards the chlorine. So chlorine gets slightly negative charge, hydrogen gets slightly positive charge. I have not represented minus and plus. I have mentioned as slightly negative, slightly positive. Delta symbol is used. Okay, partially negative, partially positive. So this is becoming polar in nature. So when a covalent bond is formed, it was 100% covalent. The molecule was a non-polar molecule, but due to the difference in the electron accepting tendency, a polarity is created in the molecule, and the molecule is now becoming polar in nature. It is not 100% non-polar in nature now. The bonded pair of electrons moving towards the chlorine, it gets slightly negative charge, hydrogen gets a slightly positive charge. The molecule is becoming now polar in nature, and the covalent bond is also considered as polar covalent bond. We can say the bond has both the characteristics of a covalent as well as ionic. Polar means ionic, charges, positive pole and a negative pole. So both ionic character and the covalent character is present in this bond now. It is not 100% covalent. So this electron accepting tendency is called electronegativity. Okay. Now what is the definition of electronegativity? You consider a covalent molecule, a covalent bond is formed. After that, an atom will have the more tendency of attracting the shared pair of electrons towards itself. This tendency is called electronegativity, right? So it is actually a tendency. The tendency of an atom in a covalent molecule to attract bonded pair of electron or a shared pair of electron towards itself. So this is not a measurable quantity like ionization potential or electron affinity. You cannot measure electronegativity. When you take ionization energy, there is a heat change, energy change. So with the help of instruments, you can measure how much heat energy is given or how much heat energy is liberated. So electron affinity and electron ionization potential can be measured, but this is a tendency. Okay, we cannot directly measure the tendency. So when you take a human being, you can measure the height, weight, and so on. But how will you measure their tendency? What they are actually thinking? What is actually present in their mind? So it cannot be measured directly. So electronegativity is not a measurable quantity. Directly we cannot measure it. So indirect methods will be adapted. So different scales have proposed, like a Mulliken scale, Pauling scale, and so on. So indirect methods are available for measuring the electronegativity. So one of the important scale is Pauling's scale. We have already studied Pauling's method. It is applicable for ionic radius. Don't confuse the word of Pauling. Pauling's method means the method of identifying the ionic radius in an ionic compound. Pauling's scale means it is mentioning the electronegativity value. With the help of Pauling scale, we find the value of electronegativity. So according to Pauling scale, fluorine has more electronegativity value, 4.0. When you take the modern periodic table, this is the element which is present in the extreme right side of modern periodic table. Extreme right top portion of modern periodic table, fluorine. We know that 18th group elements are already stable. We omit 18th group. 17th group will be present in the extreme right side of the modern periodic table, and it is in the top portion. It has more electron accepting tendency in a covalent molecule. The least one is hydrogen. Hydrogen has the least electronegativity. So Pauling scale value 2.1. Okay. And we have a formula to calculate electronegativity. Xa minus Xb is equal to 0.182 square root of EAB minus EAA into EBB power 1 by 2. So this is the formula used for calculating electronegativity. So X is a symbol of electronegativity. X represents electronegativity of atom A and electronegativity of atom B. So consider the reaction. Hydrogen covalent molecule combines with chlorine covalent molecule. It forms hydrogen chloride molecule. First it forms as a covalent molecule, then it becomes a polar covalent molecule. Okay. So between the hydrogen atoms, a covalent bond is formed. Between the between the hydrogen atoms, a covalent bond is formed. Between the chlorine atoms, a covalent bond is present, as well as between the hydrogen and chlorine, covalent bond is formed first, but due to electronegativity difference, it becomes polar in nature. So E is a symbol of bond dissociation energy. To break this bond, how much energy is given? Simply bond energy or bond dissociation energy. So it can be represented as EH2. This can be represented as ECl2. This is represented as EHCl. Bond dissociation energy in hydrogen molecule, bond dissociation energy in chlorine molecule, bond dissociation energy in hydrogen chloride molecule. So instead of this hydrogen chloride formation, you can take a general equation also. We have a covalent molecule A2 combines with the covalent molecule B2, it forms two molecules of polar covalent molecule AB. So how can you represent bond dissociation energy? EAA, EBB and EAB. So with the help of bond dissociation energy, we find electronegativity. Okay. This is electronegativity of atom A and electronegativity of atom B. And what is the variation of electronegativity in the modern periodic table? So in modern periodic table, electronegativity value increases from left to right in a period. Like ionization potential and electron affinity, electronegativity value also increases from left to right. But for noble gases, electronegativity value 0. Then groups. Electronegativity value decreases from top to bottom in a group. Okay. So left to right, atomic size reduces, effective nuclear charge increases, and the electron accepting tendency will be more. So electronegativity value increases from left to right in a period. You can take second period, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Gradually electronegativity increases, and noble gases are already stable. They don't have the electron accepting tendency. Electronegativity value will be 0, like electron affinity. Then top to bottom, atomic size or atomic radius increases. Definitely electron accepting tendency will be reduced because the distance between the nucleus and the last electron will be more, and the nucleus will not attract the electron well. Okay, so attractive force between the nucleus and the last electron will be reduced. So electron accepting tendency decreases from top to bottom in a group. So we have completed periodic properties. You have to remind the variation of periodic properties in modern periodic table. When you take periods and groups in modern periodic table, first periodic property, radius of an atom or radius of an ion. Decreases from left to right in a period and increases from top to bottom in a group. Second periodic property, ionization energy. Third one is electron affinity, and fourth one is electronegativity. I have made atomic and ionic radius together. So the remaining three periodic properties, ionization energy, electron affinity and electronegativity, will increase from left to right in a period, and it will decrease from top to bottom in a group. So this you have to remind. Okay. What about the variation of periodic properties in modern periodic table? With this periodic properties over, tomorrow we will discuss chemical properties, variation of chemical properties.